Hi, this is Bill Stannard from the YES program. Welcome to YES Online Learning. Today we're going to build a game using Pocket Code, a really cool app that you can download for your phone from either the Google Play Store on your Android or the App Store on your iPhone. Pause this video here and download a copy of the Pocket Code app if you haven't already done it. Before we start, here's some background to the game we'll be building today. In World War II, the Tuskegee Airmen flew their P51 Mustang fighters and provided air cover protection for the Army Air Corps bombers during their raids over Germany and Romania. Hundreds of our bombers were lost to German enemy fighters until the P51 Redtails were assigned to protect them on the bombing missions. From that day onwards, significantly fewer bombers were lost to enemy fire, and the Tuskegee Airmen became the first choice of bomber pilots to escort them on their dangerous missions. Our game that we're going to build will feature bombers, a spaceship that will stand in for a P-51 Mustang, and a space shuttle that will play the role of an enemy fighter out to shoot down the bombers. Our P-51, controlled by the player, will try to shoot down the enemy fighter before it can shoot down the bombers. Let's get right to it, okay? First thing I'm going to do is stop this app by clicking on the little back arrow down at the bottom and the back arrow in that other menu that comes up. And I'm going to go up to the top of the screen and press the back arrow next to where it says P51 with 3 bombers. And I'm going to come down to the very bottom of the next screen and click on the plus, which will allow me to build a new game. And I'm going to call that game P51 with bombers. And I'm going to first put in my initials, because when I upload this to the Pocket Code community, I want to be able to recognize it as mine. So my initials for Bill Stannard are BS, and then I'm going to put in an underscore, and then go back to the name again, and I'm going to do a capital P, and then 51, and then another underscore, and type in bomber with an S, bombers, and then an underscore and the word game. So what I have here is the P51 bombers game with my initials BS in front of it, and I'm going to create an empty project. So I'm going to click on the OK button, and the orientation is going to be portrait. So I'm going to click OK, and here we go. First thing I need to do is pick a background. So I'm going to click on the word background, and I am going to click on the word backgrounds, and I'm going to choose one. And I'm going to click on the plus all the way down at the bottom to add what they call a look. So click plus and then media library. When I get to the media library, I'm going to scroll all the way down near the bottom and pick the clouds. And they are in the center of this row. So I'm going to click on that and let that download. And then I'm going to click on the little start arrow that is down in the lower right-hand corner. And it shows me my clouds. So that's exactly what I want for a background. So again, I'm going to click on the back arrow and the back arrow again. And this time up near the word background, I'm going to click on that arrow going to the left and click on it again. So I'm now out to where I can start adding sprites to my game. So I'm going to add my first sprite, which is going to be the P51 Mustang, by clicking on the plus sign. And I'm going to go to the media library again. And I'm going to go to the section called transport. And I am going to pick the spaceship that's there on the leftmost spaceship under the green balloon. So I'm going to click on that. And when it asks me what I want to call it, I'm not going to call it Rocket Starts. I'm going to call it P51. So I'm going to do a capital P and then 51. And then I'm going to click OK. So there's my P51 Mustang. The next thing I'm going to get is a space shuttle, which will be the fighter planes that are trying to shoot down my bombers. So I'm going to click on the plus, and again to the media library. And I'm going to scroll all the way down to the heroes of the universe. And I am going to pick one of those two shuttles. It really doesn't matter which one. And I'm going to leave its name as shuttle. Okay, I now want to add a bomber. So I'm going to click the plus. And in this case, I'm going to draw my image of the bomber. So I'm going to click on Draw Image. And I get this great big screen. So I'm now going to put two fingers on the screen and then spread them apart and kind of zoom in so I can work on a little bit more careful there. And I'm going to scroll it up about that big. You can see where I'm moving my fingers apart. And I'm going to leave the color black, and I'm going to go into the brush by clicking on it, and I'm going to make the brush a little bit narrower, bring it down to about 10. So I'm now going to click on the screen again, and every time you touch the screen, it's now going to paint with the black paint with the brush. So I'm now going to make the fuselage of the plane. That's kind of twisty. I'm going to hit the back arrow and erase that, and I'm going to try it again, make it go in a straight line. Whoa, that's twisty also. So here we go once more. That's a little bit better. And I'm now going to put a wing, kind of a little bit more than halfway forward. Good. Now I'm going to put an engine on each wing. That's pretty good. Okay, and I'm going to put a tail on and add a little bit behind the tail. And there's my bomber. Pretty straightforward bomber. You can get fancy if you want. So I am now going to click on the back arrow down at the bottom. And it's going to ask me if I want to save what I've just done. I'm going to click Save. And I'm going to name it Bomber 1. So I'm going to click where it says my actor or object and spell out Bomber. And skip a space and then the number 1. I'm going to click OK. So now I have Bomber 1. And the next thing I need to do is go back and get a fireball. Okay, so I'm going to click on plus, Media Library. And again, go to the Heroes of the Universe. And I'm going to grab that fireball that's in the upper left-hand corner. And it's called Asteroid here, but I'm going to change its name to Fireball. Okay. Now, first thing I want to do is I want to turn that fireball around so it's going up rather than down. So I'm going to click on the fireball, and I'm going to click on Looks, and I'm going to click on the fireball again. And this time I'm going to go over to Tools, which is on the lower left-hand corner of your screen. And I'm going to pick the Transform tool, which is on the third row down. Okay, and I'm going to move it clockwise twice. So I'm going to click on the little arrow that goes to the right once and twice. So now the fireball is facing up. I'm going to click on the word Apply, and there it is. So there's my fireball. So I'm now going to go up to the top of the screen, all the way to the left, click on that back arrow. I'm going to save my project. Okay, I'm now going to click back and back again. So I now have the P51, the shuttle, and Bomber 1, and the fireball. And we're going to stop here and let you catch up if you need to. And I will see you in the second video in building our P51 bomber game.